For decades, we've had this fundamental disconnect in business, haven't we? We measure our success in dollars and cents, but we hope our impact is measured in human lives. But what if we could just flip that script? What if we could build our entire strategy from the ground up around a measurable human goal, and then prove with cold, hard data that we're actually making a difference? Well, that's exactly the idea we're going to unpack today.
All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to rethink what success even means. Then I'll introduce you to this framework called Teleological Economics. From there, we'll get practical. How to find your opportunity, build a system to tackle it, prove your impact, and finally, I'll give you a step-by-step roadmap to get started.
So, first things first, let's really frame the core challenge. The way we've always done it, the traditional business model, it optimizes for financial results. We chase revenue, we chase profit, but those are lagging indicators. They only tell you a story about what happened yesterday. If you're a truly mission-driven organization, you need a better compass to guide you into the future.
And this, right here, this is the paradigm shift we're talking about. We're making a move away from that financial first world. The one where any positive human impact is just a happy accident. We're moving to a human-centered approach. And in this world, impact isn't incidental. It's the whole point. And it's proven with leading indicators that actually help you steer the ship, not just look at the wake behind it.
Okay, so let's get to the solution. To build this incredibly powerful new framework, we first need a new vocabulary. We need a professionally rigorous, no-fluff way to talk about and actually measure human-centered value.
Everything, and I mean everything, starts with this one concept, a telos. Now, this is not some vague, feel-good mission statement you hang on the wall. No way. A telos is a specific, declared and, this is the most important part, a measurable human outcome. Think work-life balance that's actually defined by commute times, or nutritional security defined by real grocery costs. This becomes your new North Star.
And this leads us right to the core concept, teleological economics. It's an entire system that completely redefines success. In this model, your organization's real value isn't just its profit margin. It's judged by its proven, measurable contribution to achieving that declared human goal, to achieving your telos.
So this whole thing really hinges on a brand new metric, return on alignment, or ROA. This right here is the linchpin. It's basically the ROI of impact. For the first time, it lets you ask the critical business question, for every single dollar we spend, for every staff hour we deploy, how much closer are we getting to our telos? This reframes impact in a language that any C-suite executive, any board member can immediately understand and get behind.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, right? But where on earth do you even start? How do you find a problem that's not only meaningful, but actually solvable? Well, the answer, maybe surprisingly, is already out there just waiting for you in publicly available data.
And what's so powerful about this is that we're not talking about some expensive proprietary dataset. This is a toolkit full of robust, credible, public sources. You can use the MIT Living Wage Index to understand childcare costs, the American Time Use Survey to get hard numbers on commute times, or cost of living indexes for what people are really paying for groceries. The evidence you need to find your mission, it's already out there.
So turning all that raw data into a real strategy is actually a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, you cluster the data to find different areas that share similar pain points. Second, you go qualitative. You mine feedback from places like social media and forums to hear the real human story behind those numbers. And finally, you combine them to formulate a sharp, data-backed opportunity statement, something like, commuters in this specific county spend 10 hours a week just getting to work. We can fix that. See, it's targeted, it's actionable.
All right, so you found your opportunity. Now let's get into the nuts and bolts of how this goes from being a great idea to a real operational system. This is what's called the teleonomic system. It's the internal machinery that makes sure every single daily activity is aligned with your ultimate goal.
This table, honestly, this is the engine room of the whole approach. Just look at that top row for work-life balance. Your telos is crystal clear. Your leading indicator, that's the thing you can actually influence day to day, is how many people are using your program. Your lagging indicator is the real-world outcome, the hard data from the ATS survey on commute hours. And here's the absolute crucial part, the gate conversion. If those real commute times go up by 10%, you are contractually obligated by your own system to stop and change your strategy. No excuses.
No, we'll get to it next quarter.
And here's how you make it stick. Because a system without accountability is just a suggestion, right? You have to embed it into the very structure of the business. You create a new role, a chief alignment officer, who owns that ROA metric. You literally tie performance bonuses to ROA, not just revenue. And then you build this relentless cadence of reviews, making sure that alignment is a constant, top-of-mind focus for the entire organization.
Okay, so you've defined your goal, you've built the system, but how do you actually prove it? How do you prove to your team, your board, and to the world that this thing is actually working? Well, this is where a rock-solid measurement and reporting backbone becomes absolutely non-negotiable.
You create this constant feedback loop. Think of it like a pulse check. Every single month, you're looking at tactical data like inflation heat maps for any early warning signs. Every quarter, you're doing a deep dive on those key indexes, making your formal stop or go decisions. And then every year, you're compiling all of it into one comprehensive public report that proves your long-term impact.
The proof needs to be so clear it's impossible to ignore. A simple visual like this can tell a massively powerful story. Right here, we see our program participants have a grocery cost index that's 10% lower than the regional average. It's clear, it's quantifiable, and it's totally defensible. This is what proven impact looks like on a dashboard.
So we've covered the why, the what, and the how. Let's bring it all home. To finish up, here's a super practical, step-by-step roadmap to take this powerful idea off the whiteboard and put it to work in the real world.
And you know, the key takeaway here is you don't have to boil the ocean. You don't need to change your entire organization overnight. You start small and you start smart. A proof of concept in just a single county. Then you run a disciplined pilot to generate your very first ROA reports. And once you've proven the model works, and only then do you hit the gas and scale up.
You know, the source material really just says it perfectly. This is not some abstract academic theory. It's a practical, actionable guide. With all the public data that's out there and this clear framework, you genuinely have what you need to start building a venture that puts measurable, human-centered value right at its core.
And that leaves us with one final and really essential question. The data's out there. The framework is clear. The only thing left to decide is, which pressing human problem are you going to choose to solve? What is going to be your telos? What will be your new North Star?